Hey soldiers, let's just be honest. It takes a lot of money to make it, okay? This existence is just expensive, prohibitively so for some. Let's take a look at the case of a particular gentleman who is on the wrong side of retirement. And we're going to talk about the realities of his situation. It's a cautionary tale. Hopefully you can take this and apply it positively to your life. Over $125,000 raised for Maryland Walmart worker, a Navy veteran, so he could retire. All right, this is out in Cumberland, Maryland. I know I have an accent. I have a Maryland accent. I also say Doug, not dog, or however you guys pronounce it. We do say soda, not pop, so we do have that going for us. But Cumberland is Western Maryland. Beautiful country out there. In a story of incredible kindness and goodwill, people have united to donate over $125,000 to an 82-year-old man after they discovered he was working 40-hour weeks, sometimes more, at Walmart. All right, look, of course, there are going to be some, and I thought this myself, who say, well, he didn't prepare, obviously. And while that might be the case, it's still tragic that this 82-year-old man, I mean, look, as customers, do we really want to be in Walmart? I like the value they provide, but I don't want to be there, right? I get in and I get out as soon as I can. Can you imagine working there 40 hours per week at 82? Warren Butch Marion from Cumberland, Maryland, is a veteran of the Navy and a widower. And his work ethic apparently caught the eye of business owner and popular TikTok user Rory McCarty. McCarty owns an extermination business, Bug Boys, and runs a related TikTok account with over 300,000 followers. This man, McCarty, started a GoFundMe account for Butch Marion after meeting him. He goes in, and I've told you guys a story a couple of times of how I go into a supermarket not far from me, Harris Teeter, and there is an elderly, okay, she's not a senior citizen, she's elderly, woman. She is racked with osteoporosis, that is obvious, but she's working, man, okay? Now, also, these are people from a different generation. These are people that are not necessarily predilected. The culture was a little different at that point, not necessarily predilected toward just complaining without trying to affect some change in their own lives, because they come from a time when we didn't have a whole bunch of programs, social programs out there to, and some would say, lend people a helping hand, and they are capable of doing that. And, on the flip side, a lot of those programs turn into generational economic dependence. And when you depend on the government, okay, you're going to be at a subsistence level of living. So this individual, Mr. Marion, is out there working. He's working. I gotta eat. I gotta live in a structure. I gotta work. All right, so McCarty went ahead and started the GoFundMe account, but before he did that, McCarty posted a video on TikTok featuring Mr. Marion, asking his followers if they'd be open to donating money so that the hard-working Walmart employee could finally retire. Now, here's the gentleman, Mr. Marion. As you can see, he is definitely in a, up in age there, but still out there working, capable of feeding himself, which is extremely admirable and honorable.
GoFundMe. The one lady, she raised $100,000 for this woman, and now she's got another one going, and she just raised over $50,000 in 4 days for another 82-year-old.
Oh, be damned.
Yeah. Now imagine that someone raised that kind of money for you.
McCarty says, I was astounded seeing this little older man still grinding. working 8 to 9 hour shifts, McCarty wrote in the GoFundMe description. Guys, look, I'm going to, go in another direction here for a moment. It's tragic that the older people, and this gentleman in particular, he lost his wife. So here he is. This job actually may be very cathartic for him in many ways. But still, he's expected to meet a schedule. I bet you he could probably find some things to occupy his time that are not Walmart based. I wanted to help this Navy veteran to live the remainder of his years traveling to see his kids in Florida, McCarty continued. Get him off his feet for 8 hours at a time and do the things he would love to do that he may not be able to for financial reasons. And somebody say, oh, he's got kids. Why aren't his kids taking care of him? His kids probably having a tough enough time taking care of themselves, okay? This is Joe Biden's economy, all right? Eggs are, $6 a dozen? Come on. So far, the GoFundMe account has raised $126,925, and it continues to grow. A check was reportedly cut for Mr. Marion, and he put that check, and he put in his 2 weeks notice, rather, to retire. Now, see, this generation, most people would have said, I'm rich, and just walked off the job with $126,000. Listen, I hope that McCarty, the owner of the extermination business, understands that he can't just give Mr. Marion $126,000, because it may be the case that he's in that position because he's not good with money. That could very well be why he's working at Walmart. So I hope Mr. McCarty is going to hire some people. When you just sit down, there should be some financial planner out there who's willing to work pro bono with Mr. McCarty to help Butch Marion in planning how to make that money work for him. And if I just checked here that that amount is up to $140,000, just over $140,000. Local news outlets were there on Mr. Marion's last day of work when McCarty and fans handed him a large check while surrounded by balloons and applause. The first word out of Mr. Marion's mouth when he saw everything was reportedly, wow. Mr. Marion told the Cumberland Times News that he will use the funds to pay off his house and to travel to Florida to see his kids. I don't know if you should do that, Mr. Marion. Why pay off your home? I mean, what's your mortgage like? Would that $126,000 go further if you just continued to pay the mortgage? And look, let's just be honest here. It's going to happen to all of us just as sure as we're going to go to sleep tonight. Mr. Marion does not have another 30 years in him, more than likely. All right. So why pay the home off? That's a bit concerning to me. And it may be an indicator that he has taken out mortgages, or maybe he just bought the home later in life. But I certainly wouldn't pay it off. I would continue to pay on the mortgage. And if he's going down there to Florida, maybe go ahead and sell the home. I don't know a specific situation, just some random thoughts about it. The check given to Mr. Marion on that day in December was just a portion of the earnings from GoFundMe. McCarty promises he is in contact with Mr. Marion and his family, and that, quote, every penny will go to Butch, unquote, after, of course, GoFundMe takes out its cut. Again, a cautionary tale, folks. Listen, this is why you've got to be out there buying assets, because at the end of the day, life is not going to be kind if you have not prepared. That's just the bottom line. And to some extent, you've got to delay gratification. You got to really question whether or not the money you're going to take to go to a spa or buy a brand new car or buy a brand new pair of shoes or whatever it is. You got to question, can you scale that purchase back a bit and make the money work better for you? You might hear my dog in the background. He's animated about this subject. He's getting older, okay? But he's got us for his retirement plan. So what you need to do is continue to invest, to continue to purchase assets. Make a plan, stick to it. You can't deviate for extended periods of time. Otherwise, because here's the thing. This is another truth that's out there. We don't know how long we're going to live. A lot of us are going to get surprised. And that surprise is going to be, oh, wow, I'm 90. And you don't want to be in a position where you've outlived your money. So don't get a nasty, well, I'm not going to call it a nasty surprise. Or it could be a nasty surprise. If you're working at Walmart, at 90, don't get a nasty surprise by outliving your money. It takes a lot of money to make it right now. You know what inflation has done to this economy. You know what taxes are doing to this economy. We talk about it all the time. Do you think those two situations are going to improve as you get older? No, things are going to become much more expensive, not less. And Walmart's probably not even going to be an option for most of you because Walmart is transitioning, just like every other retailer, to automation, where we, the customer, work for Walmart at the checkout aisle. We're not compensated for it, but we certainly work for them. One way we might get around that is to look at their stock and see if it's worth investing in. That's the way we win, potentially. Not financial advice, of course. So I just can't stress it enough, guys. Don't outlive your money. Mr. Marion apparently outlived his money. And thanks to McCarty, he's out there. He runs into him and he helps him out tremendously. But again, I say, I wish he had got him some financial advice, because this is why you can't. Somebody would have been willing to come in and, glom on to that whole situation, get a little publicity, because this is why a lot of American lottery winners, a lot of lottery winners in general, they hit these big jackpots for $1 million. You check in with them 10 years later, they're flat broke. Or a lot of people who are professional athletes. We've been over that 1,000 times. So many of them are broke 3 to 5 years after leaving the league. Okay. It's because Americans and people in general just don't know how to handle money. So in that vein, we just did a report about 3 side hustles that will pay $350 a day for 2023. Now, they have the potential to pay a lot more. And quite frankly, they have unlimited income potential. Watch this video. You've got to establish multiple streams of income, and you've got to start being very aggressive about putting money away so that you will not be an octogenarian ringing up items at Walmart. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.